Hello, and welcome to The Bits with Joe and Nick. Man, we're kind of on a hot streak of episodes. I'm Joe. I run Allplay Games.
And I'm Nick Murray with Bitewing Games. And yeah, it's been a fun streak of topics we've been on lately, huh?
Yeah, I think we got a couple more pretty good ones in the seat. I've been liking this hot seat format. I think we've got a couple of ones that I'm pretty excited about doing. And then we'll kind of get back into some more deep dive. I think we've gotten a lot of requests for people to do a second episode on artists, which would be really fun. I also think we've had a lot of people ask us about the process of certain big projects that we've worked on, right? So kind of taking a deep dive and going through the entire process of Container and how that started all the way up through it getting fulfilled and delivered, which would be I think those kind of things are pretty interesting.
Yeah, it'd be super helpful to see. But for today, we're actually turning the tables because you on a recent episode you interviewed me. You put me in the hot seat with Rolling Deep, and we went deep on that game. And today we're kind of in the aftermath of Gen Con, right? Where I think between you and I, our companies revealed about 10 new games. It was a big news drop.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We revealed 5 new games.
Yep. Same here. So 10 new games that we just dropped all on a Friday on an audience, a live audience, as well as on the internet. And yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement surrounding these games and the news around them. But for today, I think we're going to dive into your end of things because there's some crazy stuff happening with Allplay. And so I'm going to be putting you on the hot seat.
So you've known about this. I think we've been alluding to this for over a year. Right. Allplay's got some big plans coming. We've got some big news coming up. And I was like, it'll all be revealed soon. It'll all be revealed. And then I started saying it'll be revealed at Gen Con. At Gen Con, we'll be revealing it. And I've had so many people reach out to me and be like, what's the news? And I'm like, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. But you've known about this for a while because we talk about stuff. But why don't you tell everybody what the news is? Get in your best words. Because I will say, the one thing, we did these big announcements, they kind of have been dominating the news cycle for board games. All the news media outlets and everything that I've been seeing are really reporting pretty heavily on these announcements coming out of Gen Con. Other things as well, but really, I've seen the most news coverage about these announcements, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think your Allplay's end of things has really big long-term ramifications. On our end, we just dropped new products and some unexpected products like Baba Is You, the board game, right? Where it's Bitewing's working with a indie video game developer to do a board game adaptation, which is really cool. But on your end, it's okay, Allplay had 3 lines that everybody's familiar with, right? It's your $10 tiny box, your $20 small box, and your $40 big box for Allplay big. Branded games, and you effectively doubled your lines. So yeah, I think. Do you want me to give a quick overhead summary of your lines, or do you want to do that?
Right. So the only thing I will say is we've collapsed everything that is currently under the Allplay umbrella, the $40 big boxes, the $20 square boxes, and the $10 tiny boxes. We've collapsed that into one line, which is just the Allplay core line. So anything that comes out in those box sizes at those price points are considered part of the Allplay core line. So that is still considered Allplay, and then we have 3 additional lines. So yeah, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, so I have to imagine, if I'm going to describe the Allplay core line to people, we kind of set the base here. It's these are very approachable games that generally play in under an hour.
Container.
Like Container, obviously.
There's outliers. There's outliers. Yeah. It's funny that it's we're trying to codify a single line as something that contains both jibber jabble and container.
Yeah, exactly. But $40 or less, so very low barrier to entry is kind of the gold standard for the Allplay, core line, right? So
Right,
then
right.
you've got 3 more lines that you dropped on everybody, starting with Allplay Masterworks, which the way I understand this, and this is not how you pitched it, but this is like an outsider's perspective. This is like,
I want to hear that's what I'm here for. I want to hear your
yeah.
perspective on what I announced.
This is basically Allplay looking at the Lacerda, tool line of games, as well as other similar projects like I would say Galactic Cruise, and looking at that and being like, oh, we can do that too, but not just with a specific creator. Although you are getting the same artist and graphic designer, right? Ian O'Toole, who very much is kind of the face of this heavy, really big box, usually like over $100 style of game. And you're basically on a quest to find the very best heavy games you can, because Allplay likes all forms of games, even though they've mostly been putting out very approachable, simpler games compared to
Like
the heavy
Container.
stuff. Yeah, like Container. And basically you're saying like, okay, once per year we want to put out one of the best heavy big box games and cater to the heavy gaming hobbyist crowd in the best way possible. Like, we want to compete with the Lacerdas. We want to compete with, the Galactic Cruises of each year and be considered, okay, this is one of the best heavy games of the year. Does that pretty much sum up the Allplay Masterworks series?
In a nutshell, what I would say, like some of the key points I think are there is, number one, and again, this is just more of a verbiage thing, I don't want to compete with the Lacerda or Galactic Cruise. I want to provide something for that audience, right?
Yeah.
A lot of this is born out of the fact that I love heavy strategy games. Like honestly, like I spent 2.5 years of my life, the only games I played were like 18xx games and like Indonesia and Roads and Boats. That was like all I played, right? Like the heaviest of the heavy games. And and I still will go, and like that's the thing. My number one game of all time is Age of Steam, right? I have a deep love for like really complex, really crunchy strategy games. And, that was one of the passionate things that made me really want to bring Container back, is like, I love games like that. I love the way that they are. What we saw, though, is with Allplay, like, we do very well. But, like, when we go to Essen, we're not like the booth people are excited. Like, they're excited to come. They're excited to shop. But, like, the big lines at Essen are always for those big, heavy Euro games, the SETIs that come out, the Arc Novas that come out, like those types of things. And they really speak, like, one of the things that I would say, right, is Allplay's never going to make a game that is like top 100 BGG game in general. Like, I'm not saying that couldn't happen, because there are some party games and some other things that go up there, but those are like the exception, not the rule. Like, the big Euros generally tend to dominate that like top 100 list, right? And we just don't make that kind of game, right? Container being like an exception, which is such a cool, unique, special game that we felt fit really well into the Allplay line. You've played it. Like, the rules are very simple and very approachable. It's just, it's a deep thinky thing. But we wanted to start making games like that. And then the second thing that I would add to that is, like, I have been friends with Ian O'Toole for like 8 years. Like, we've known each other. We talk all the time. Like, we're close. And we've kind of been like trying to collaborate and feel this thing out. And at a certain point, I was like, man, I just have this idea. And this is like 2.5 years ago. I was like, I just have this idea, Ian. Like, what if like we like started a line that we curated together and like really just did one amazing blockbuster Euro a year? And Ian was like, I love that idea. So we both had to get to a point where our company and his schedule was ready to like commit to a project. And honestly, we were not expecting to launch. Like, we did not have this idea that like, oh, Dominant Species is going to be the first game in the line. All right. That happened after the fact, when we were kind of looking at games that would like be like really cool and stuff like that, and talking to different creators. And I just kind of saw Dominant Species, and we were in the middle of working on Container at the big early stages. And I was just like, I wonder if they'd be interested. And honestly, one phone call with GMT and they were like, yeah, let's do this. This sounds amazing. And they're thrilled. They're through the roof. So
That's awesome. So is GMT, I mean, for this particular title in your Masterworks line, obviously it was published by GMT. They've been like the I guess the owner of this license and this title for this long. Are they involved in any way in Dominant Species in particular?
Yeah, so we're working very closely with Kai Jensen, who is Chad Jensen, the designer's wife. Chad Jensen, the designer, passed away, and we are also working with GMT Games. Kai actually works for GMT Games now.
Oh, cool.
And the process has been really great. They've been really open, really receptive to what we want to do. They feel really good about everything. But they have discontinued all sales of Dominant Species in service of us being the owner of the license at this point. So
Cool.
like it is Allplay's title at this point. There is still some like back stock that they're going to be able to sell through when this comes out, but GMT version of Dominant Species will not be on the market from GMT after the Allplay edition comes out. So
very cool. Yeah, I mean, Masterworks to me, out of everything you guys have announced, is probably the most un-Allplay thing yet, right? Although you did kind of brace people for this next step by putting out Container and by the fact that that was your biggest Kickstarter ever, right? So it's like, okay, this is a good incentive. Or a good sign that, hey, we're headed in the right direction. So
I would say that, but I also think that, like, Container is a very beloved game by, like, a very similar crowd, if not a perfect overlap of crowd of Dominant Species. And people have had mostly only positive things to say about our version of Container. They've been like, you know what? Allplay knocked it out of the park. Yeah. And obviously, Dominant Species is not going to be a $40 game. It's not. It's going to be expensive, right? But some of the stuff, I had a 3-hour meeting with Ian O'Toole last night to talk about Dominant Species stuff, and man, that guy is talented. Like he showed us some stuff, not even art. He just showed us some ideas for how the components are going to work, and I'm like, as soon as we show this to people, they're just going to be like, you know what? This is going to be great. Like, it's going to be really, really good. So And the best thing about it is if people don't like this idea, it doesn't affect their game in any way, shape, or form. So it's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if anything, it will just bring in more fans, right? Because GMT has a very specific look to their games, and it's not necessarily a broadly popular look or style. It's you know, it works for that audience and it works great and they love it. But yeah, if you want to grow something like Dominant Species, I think the kind of, you know, cover that's sitting right above your head is definitely going to bring in more interest, right? And Ian O'Toole helping, you know, planning out basically the production and the components and the graphics and everything, I think will really show people like, hey, this is an evergreen game, and if you haven't tried it yet, now's the best time to do it, right?
The thing I really am excited about Dominant Species is I think there's a lot of people who have like played Arc Nova, played the new Brass, right? Played games like that, Vita Lacerda games, and like really love Heavy Euros, but they kind of like know about Dominant Species or have heard about it or maybe even seen it but been like very turned off by like how it looks, right? Because it looks like a GMT game. And those people are going to be excited for this. There's also a whole other demographic of people that love Dominant Species, think it's the greatest game ever, like me, that are like, this is an edition that I want to own of like my favorite game. Like I would love to own like a collector's edition of a game that I consider a 10 out of 10, right? I think it's going to be fantastic. And that's like the big thing when it comes to like Dominant Species that I'm pumped about is it hits both gamers that have been avoidant of it or are going to hear about it for the first time and it's brand new for them. But it's also going to bring in people. And again, there are going to be people that there's already people, the Kickstarter, the BGG forums are on fire right now. People are like, the GMT version is the most perfect board game that's ever existed. There's nothing wrong with it. If they change one single thing, they've made mistakes. And hey, you know what? We're going to lose the dozens of people that feel that way. There are dozens of them. But there are dozens of us. Dozens.
Classic.
Hold on 1 second. Give me 2 seconds. It's okay. We're still doing this. Just I think this will be funny for the people that are watching on YouTube. The pinnacle.
There we go.
Anyways, if you're not watching on YouTube, it doesn't make any sense. But if you are, it's pretty good. So I think I am excited for that. I am very excited to bring back this, like, in my opinion, what I think is going to be a definitive edition of Dominant Species. So
absolutely. Yeah, and I personally have not played it yet. Very much looking forward to Allplay's version. I'll definitely just hold out till that comes out because I'm lazy.
Well, that's what you did for Container, right?
Yeah, I did the exact same thing for Container, and it definitely paid off. Like, very clean production. It was easy to learn. Your rulebook was phenomenal, and so
that
easy
player
for me to teach.
aid.
And, oh, it was real good.
That player aid is like legit.
Yeah.
That's like a A+ player aid.
Yeah, well, a good player aid can make such a huge difference for a heavy game like that, and so yeah, I'm super pumped. I did get the chance to. Obviously, we're not going to reveal any details, but I did get the chance to play a future Masterworks game and get kind of a feel for like what is this line about, right? And I remember we sat down and played this. Print and play prototype, basically, right? Spread out across this huge table that four of us dug into, and it was 3 or 4 of us, I can't remember. I know Henry was there, but I had a blast with that game as well. And I'm the type of player that, like, when I see a game, a Lacerda style game like that, where it's like, okay, there's gonna be a lot of rules we're gonna get through, and we got to the actual gameplay part of it. I was like, oh, this is actually a heavy game that fits my taste really well. And that's obviously there's going to be a range of styles and a range of tastes that you'll cater to through this line. But this one in particular was like, oh, once you get through the rules, like the turn-by-turn flow is very straightforward, and the complexity comes in, strategically deciding what to do, right? And it turned out to be more interactive as well than I expected. So, like, for me, yeah, this is a heavy game line that I'm also quite excited for, just by seeing, Dominant Species being the spear, the tip of the spear, right? As well as this other game that I've tried that will come, I assume, in the next year or two after that. So
yeah, we're cool. Excited, and we're taking our time with it. We're really trying to make sure that we do it right, and we're not just trying to be like, hurry up, we got to get another one. And that's why, like, we're committed to one per year. Also, I don't know that Ian O'Toole has the bandwidth to do 2 games per year.
No way. Especially with how many components and rules, and just getting everything right takes so much more time compared to your $20 Allplay game, right? Those you can crank out a lot faster and easier. So
we're aware.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of being aware, the next line that you've announced is one that you kind of secretly already debuted or launched, I should say, the Allplay Epics line, right?
What is it called when we retroactively announced? We retconned a game into the line.
Yeah. So this is the Allplay Epics series, and I guess my take on this is, like, instead of being like a heavy Euro game with a lot of rules and a lot of complexity and a lot of intricate mechanisms layered on each other, Epics seems to me to be more focused on providing an epic experience, right? Like the retconned product that we're talking about is Sail Legacy. So in that case, this is one of the most ambitious legacy games that I think any publisher has ever put out, from the sound of it, and one that you've said kind of rivals. It's closer to Gloomhaven, much closer to Gloomhaven than it is to Sail, right? Where you're just going like absolutely crazy with the ambition of this design, right?
So the original, when we thought of Sail Legacy, the general thought was that we could put a legacy game for Sail into a box that's the same footprint as our large box, but like maybe like 3 times as deep, right? Just basically make it like a giant prism,
Yeah.
And we're like, we made like the first, do you remember at Origins 2 years ago when me and Henry were playing the entire thing? It was spread out all over the table, and it was in this like big fat Sail Legacy box that was like this size. And we literally, that box was filled to the brim. We could barely close it. And it contained like a 20th of the game at that point. Like there was like a 20th of the game in there. And I was just like, uh-oh. And then the thing is, we just kept putting more stuff in, and like we are getting so close to the finish line and pressing print on Sail Legacy, and like the game is basically done. Like there's still a few cards that actually need to get like the flavor text written on them, and we need to like put all like the stickers laid out everywhere. But like the game is like so close to being done. There's zero art that needs to be done. There's zero gameplay or dev that still needs to be done. We're basically in the point where we are just preparing a ton of files and editing like the story. So that's like all we're doing right now, which is still a lot because there's a lot of it, but we're in like such a good spot for the game.
That's exciting.
But yeah, like it just like it turned into this thing, and we're like, what size box do we put this in? And we're like, and what we actually did is we had to like measure out what the like biggest map would be using the same size tile that's in Sail, the base game. And what we ended up doing is we have like some of the maps are like this big, and we basically were like, well, we could put that in like a Vita Lacerda size box. People are used to that box size. We're like, okay. And that kind of like fed the dragon a little bit. And we're like, okay, we'll just have Sail Legacy and it'll be like this weird one-off project that Allplay did because it's crazy and wacky and whatever. And then we were like working on the lines, and we had the Epics line because we had been working on Crash Landed for a long time. And I was like, I mean, we'll just put Sail Legacy in this line. Like, we'll just put Sail Legacy with the Epics logo on it.
Yeah, makes sense. So I guess, they're similar sized boxes. They're the exact same size, right? From what I can tell.
Yeah, and they might vary thickness-wise based on like how many components need to be and everything. But like the goal is for these two lines to be the same footprint because we're never going to make a game in that line that just doesn't have a ton of stuff in it. Like they're big games. We're not signing a small game to these lines. But at the same time, we're like for shipping and conventions and stuff like that, it's just going to work out really easy if these games all have like a very similar footprint.
Yeah.
And also we're Allplay, and like it just does something in our soul to be like, ooh, look how these games like all fit together.
So cohesive. No, I think that's great. So yeah, the fact that they're going to be roughly the same, pretty consistently the same box size between both of these lines, and roughly I'm assuming the same price because they're going to be pretty component heavy and lots of content to dig into.
There's no price consistency between even a single Masterworks title and the next Masterworks title. Okay. Cool. It really is going to come down to like componentry, right? Because like for the Allplay core line, we cut back or add to hit price point. For these games, if Dominant Species ends up being $100, it'll be $100. If the next Masterworks game, with all the components that we need to put in it, because we're not going to cheap out on the components, we're not going to give you crappier components to hit a $100 price point, the next one might be a $120 game. So like we're going to be consistent. Like the price point will not be a consistent every Masterworks game cost X, because even amongst the Vita Lacerda games, I don't think that people expect that type of consistency, even though the box size is similar, because I think Speakeasy is more expensive than like Lisboa.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can come down to things like how much wood is in there and like how, more complex components, right? But I guess, in your opinion, what kind of gamer is the Epics for, and what's the dividing line? This is two-part question. And what's the dividing line between Masterworks and Epics?
Good question. So the Epics line is for people that I wouldn't call the Epics line like Ameritrash. Like one's Ameritrash, one's Euro. Like those are pretty muddy anyway. Those don't mean that much to anybody these days. My thing is like, even though like you would play Dominant Species, but like that was an epic experience. It's a game like it's so much easier to codify the Masterworks series, because the Masterworks series is like a game that is it hits a certain threshold of weight, right? It is a heavy, complex, systems-driven Euro game, right? Whereas the Epics line are big adventure narrative games. They're games that have ideas that are way too big to be confined by our $40 boxes, right? They're like games that are built to tell cool stories, right? And so like with Sail Legacy, right, it is a almost 40 mission chapter narrative adventure with like hundreds of upgrades and hundreds of things that are happening in the game. Crash Landed is like a 3-arc campaign that has like every decision you make is going to affect what's going to happen in the next scenario of it. And it has this like huge element of like crash landing on a planet, needing to survive, growing up your presence on that planet, and still needing to fight for survival against different threats. Right? It has bigger ideas, right, than something like a River Valley Glassworks, right, or even a Container for that matter. Like the ideas are just bigger, the scope is bigger. I know I've talked to you about like what we're working on for the third line, and like we have like it's not all going to be campaign games or narratively driven games, but they are going to be games that provide a big epic experience. Just as a teaser, like the third game in the epics line is going to be a very cool 4X style game in a way that I think the board game industry has not seen before. So
That's right. Yeah, I've heard about that. I'm definitely excited for that too. So I get the sense that Allplay Epics is basically, it's what you've come to know and expect and love from Allplay and their style of game and their, the amazing art and production of their games, but on a more ambitious scale, right? Where it's like, okay, we can't contain this in the $40 box, but this is something that is going to be big. It's going to feel epic, right? But it's going to still be Allplay, which is very exciting. I know you've shared a lot of details with me about Crash Landed. One of the designers is Robert Hovakimian, who we work with quite a bit. So I've heard from both of you a lot of updates on that. And I know it's very much still in active development. Like nothing is, unlike Dominant Species, like Crash Landed has a lot of development work to go and showing a lot of progress and promise. But is there anything else you want to share specifically about Crash Landed? You mentioned that there's a 3-act campaign, but anything else about the hook of that or anything?
Yeah, so I'll tease a little bit.
Okay.
So the Crash Landed is a 3-arc campaign. A 3-arc game. Arc 1 is like survival. Like you have to get enough food to live while still trying to build up your base, find cool things, explore, farm, craft new items. Like there's a really cool crafting system that I really haven't seen in a lot of board games where you're getting your resources and putting them on like a crafting table. And it's like, okay, I'm going to add these resources in this configuration and then I get to build this tech, right? And then you wipe your crafting table and then you can keep building more things on your crafting table. And I'm like, man, that's cool. That's like really, really cool in my opinion, right? With the second campaign or the second arc, you've built your base. You've established a life on this planet, right? But because you were this single person exploring the world, your threats were smaller, right? And now that you've established a presence, the threats grow. And you have to start defending your base against certain like entities on the planet, right? Yeah. And the second one is like that, and that's like always been the core. Is like game 1 is this. Game 2 is not like, oh, it's slightly different. Like in a legacy game, it's like, oh, we're like in Sail Legacy, when you go from mission to mission, like you're doing cool new things, but you're still playing Sail. In this one, game 2 is not game 1. It's a completely new game, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
And again, you're not going from one game to like a social deduction game. Like they're going to be very like immersive Euro style games, right?
Right.
You know how like Blood Rage is like a Euro game, but it's like thematic. Like it's they're like thematic. It's like a thematic Euro style, right?
Yeah.
What game 2 is a tower defense style game. And I'm so pumped because when I was in like high school and college, I played so much tower defense style games. I've played like what's the one? Kingdom Rush. I've played so many different styles of like
Plants vs Zombies. There's
I've played all.
It was very popular, right?
Yeah, and I love tower defense games, and so we've got this really cool tower defense aspect to game number 2, and it's it's really exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped about that. I think of your new releases, Crash Landed, because it's not attached to anything as concrete. It's maybe flown under the radar. Like if you had to pick one of your 5 games, it's maybe flown under the radar a little bit more. But that's just because I think it's still in development. There's not as much to reveal yet. But once people like see the ambition of this design, then it's gonna hit hard, right? I think it'll be very exciting for folks.
And I don't think any games of this scope and scale in the short term like get people like excited on the announcement. I think it's like when they get to go to the Kickstarter page and see it all, it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, like
when people start playing it like previewers and talking about it, then it's like, oh, okay, let's check this out. You know, very cool. Yeah, I guess, is there anything else you want to share about the Epics line in general? I feel like we covered a good amount of ground with it, though.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head. These are just big immersive experiences. They're games that you're going to get lost in and you're going to tell stories about when you're done. Like you're going to be like, "Oh my God, do you remember when that happened?" Like when you get done playing an Epics game, you will be talking about it afterwards. Right. Very and that's cool. Kind of, that's what we're trying to draw out of like the games that go into this line is like, you're going to remember things that happened to you during this game.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about Crash Landed like 2 years ago or something on the phone and your idea that you had for it. So it's cool to see it finally come into life, but yeah, definitely excited to see more of that. But let's get into the third line that you guys dropped at Gen Con, and that is Allplay Creations, which I think, to put it simply, these are games that cater to a very significant and very specific fan base, right? And then they welcome in anyone else that's interested in that topic. So I wonder, I'm curious if this line was inspired by anything, or just seeing like successful IP based board games from other publishers, or games that cater to specific fans outside of board gaming and brought them in, right? Like the Wingspan bringing in the bird fans, or A Place for All My Books. That's the name of it, right? Like bringing in the book and reading fans, right? Is that kind of what you're getting at, but also the IP fan crowd?
It's like dancing around it. So, for instance, so the way I look at it is like one of the things that led me to like wanting to like start some kind of line that held IP based games was and licensed property games, is seeing how well done things like Slay the Spire, the board game, are, right? And like how it's like, oh, that they didn't just slap a thing on like okay. So I'm gonna give you like, in my opinion, the bad example, even though I think the game's good, and the good example, right? The good example is Slay the Spire, the board game. That is a work of love for people from people that loved Slay the Spire, that were like, we could turn this into a board game, and they did, right? The bad version, and again, I'm not trying to degrade a company, but in my opinion, what I don't want to do is Marvel Legendary. Because while Marvel Legendary is a good game, right, and you get to play with your favorite Marvel characters, they've just slapped that license on anything. They're like, okay, great, James Bond Legendary, Predator Legendary, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Legendary. Like if they can get a like license, they'll be like legendary version of that, right? And that's fine. Like they have a very flexible product, right? And that's cool. I don't want a flexible product. Right. The goal is not to get licenses and put them on a popular system. The goal is to create. That's why we called it Creations, is to create a product that is for people that love that thing. Right. So let's talk about Have a Magical Day. Right.
Yeah.
Have a Magical Day, plain and simply, is a game about going to Disney World. Right. Because there's a lot of games out there that are about like building a theme park. It's very roller coaster tycoon, right? It's like, oh, look at all the things I'm adding to my theme park, and isn't that cool? And now I have this many people coming, and I get this much money. I haven't played that many, but like Fun Fair and Wishland and stuff like that, you're like building a theme park. That's cool. But you know what people that go to big theme parks where they spend a lot of money, spend a lot of time doing? Planning their trip.
Yeah.
They start planning,
absolutely.
like the people that go there, they start planning their trip months in advance, if not like a year in advance. And they're like, okay, we have to leave we're going to stay at this hotel. The first bus leaves at this time. We're going to get to the gates. This is the first ride we're going to ride, because if we get there first, it's going to be no wait. And then we don't have to wait in line later. And then we immediately have to go. Like if you go to Disney, if you go to Magic Kingdom, you have to get there. You have to get to the gates at least 90 minutes early to be in the front of like the rope drop area. You get walked back. You run to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You immediately go to Peter Pan. By that time, Haunted Mansion is about to open. You run to Haunted Mansion, ride Haunted Mansion, then go get on Splash Mountain. Like, I know this because I've done it, and because I like the efficiency of going to a theme park and being like, I have planned my day perfectly. Also, the people that do that, you know what they know? They're like, oh, and we have to get this special snack. The special egg rolls are right outside of Adventureland. There's only one cart. They have these special egg rolls. We have to go get them. That cart's only there from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. So during that time, as soon as we get off that, we have to go get the egg rolls and go do this. And then we're always going to have lunch at Casey's Corner, because we always have lunch at Casey's Corner because that's our favorite restaurant. And then we're going to go do a character dinner at this hotel. Like all of that stuff, man. People are nuts, right? Do you know how many full-time YouTubers make a living just talking about going to Disney, not about actually Disney themed movies or anything, just the park, just going to the park.
It's huge. There's blogs and channels and podcasts. It's crazy.
and they're more subscribed to than the biggest board game channel in the world, right? There's more subscribers there because people love that. I want to give those people a board game. Because what I'm describing is a board game, right? Like it is a board game. And I have to say, you have played this game. You have played Have a Magical Day with me, right? It feels like that.
It's really good.
It's really good. It's really good.
This is another Robert Hovakimian co-design with John DeClaire, and what a combo! Like we played this, and I was like, Robert, this is going to just like absolutely smash anything else you've ever put out. Like it's going to be so big.
It's going to smash everything I've ever put out.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah, I imagine you can send out review copies to all those content creators, right? And be like, hey,
better
play
believe
this
I am.
Tell your fans about it, right? And no, I honestly, I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, you captured pretty much all that experience in my play of the game. Like I had my family that I was going from park to park with, and there were times where it's like, well, mom doesn't really love the spinny rides. She's getting kind of hangry, so she wants to go get a really good snack from this spot. So now the family's going to split up and do their own thing. Dad's going to take the kids on the spinny ride, and mom's going to get this really awesome snack. And like, there's all this planning involved, but it had such a nice flow to it, and it's like the theme really, the immersion of it really elevated the experience so much, where you actually feel like you're doing those things, and you're like proud when you're like, yes, I wanted to go to this very exciting roller coaster, but I knew it was going to be super busy, but I was able to fit it into my schedule and still accomplish these other things, right? And like the way it comes together is just really cool. So I'm super pumped for this game.
Yeah, it's man, it's so good. And that's the thing, is like, and guess who came up with Have a Magical Day? Did I design it? No. But I was like, this is a game that needs to exist, right? And now it's not an IP, right? It's not an IP. But it is a game that speaks to a certain fandom that loves a particular thing. And when those people play this game, they're going to go, this feels like the thing I love. And not only does it feel like the thing that I love, it also, when gamers play this, they're going to go, this is good. Like, this is good. Yeah. And I've talked to a couple of IP franchises, right? I've talked to a couple of IP franchises. And the one thing that I've told them is, the pitch that I give them is, I was like, look, I know you could give your license to a bunch of people that are going to slap it on a bunch of product, and you'll probably make more money. But if you let me make a product for you, right, I'm going to make you something that you're going to be proud to show your fans. You're going to say, this is something that was made for you, and this is something that you're going to feel like belongs in the world that you're creating, right? And that's kind of always been the impetus of what I think if I'm going to work on an IP, if I'm going to work on a license. I don't like I've had the opportunity to like retheme things and rings to like silly stuff that like low hanging fruit stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to like dunk on other publishers, but like when I saw like Shem Phillips made like a strawberry shortcake game that got put out by Maestro Media, I'm like, oh, I'm sure the love and care went into that. I'm sure Shem Phillips was like watching hours and hours of strawberry shortcake cartoons as he was designing this. Like, and again, maybe he did. Maybe he did. Like, he could. I'm not trying to dunk. Like, I'm not dunking on Shem Phillips. He didn't. But like, I feel like they just kind of like put it out there, right? Like,
right.
And that's like the other thing. Like, there was a game that came out the other like a while ago where it was like DuckTales and Goof Troop and something else, same exact game. They're like, what theme do you like best? I'm like, I don't want a game like that. You could not retheme this to anything. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like there are certain games that could be rethemed to like whatever.
Yeah.
This is not one of the, or there are certain games that are more abstract, right?
Yeah.
This game is not that. If you took all of the art away from the game and still played it, you'd be like, I kind of feel like I'm at a theme park right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. I think, if you look at the spectrum of IP-based games, there's like the cash grab on the very far end where it's like we're just slapping this on to hopefully like, increase sales.
And again, then, not to diss, right? But like the Grinch Flip 7, right? That is that is not a product that like the Grinch is like, oh yeah, like this is such a great product for the fans of the Grinch, right? No,
but it's like glove, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine that they did that. I'm not trying to like say that that's a bad thing to do, but that's what we're talking about. That's like that, okay, we have a license and we have a game. I guess we'll put pictures of the Grinch on Flip 7 cards.
Yeah, so the opposite end of the spectrum would be like, this is made by fans and for fans of this property, of this this world, right? And then the other part is like executing on it, doing it competently, which obviously when you get somebody like John D. Clare and Robert Hovkinyan, these are experienced designers who know how to take a product vision and bring it to life. And I can vouch for it as well. But yeah, this is going to be a very big, even this game on its own, like from the plans you've shared, like this isn't going to just be like, it'll be a great retail box, right? You put this in Target or whatever, it's going to be phenomenal. But there's going to be a lot more to it. It's going to be a brand unto itself just because of how much potential it has, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess very excited to see what else comes out in the Allplay Creations line. Obviously, there will be, as you mentioned, there will be like IP tied games similar to like what we were doing with Bob Is You, the board game, but there's also going to be IP inspired games like Have a Magical Day. So yeah, it's cool to see what fan bases you're going to bring into board games, because I think that not only helps Allplay and the people making that particular game who are getting the royalties or whatever, but that helps grow the hobby, right? Just like Wingspan did, where it brought so many new people in to the community. I think we're going to see a lot of growth for the hobby itself because of these like very passionate, very carefully crafted efforts to bring in these fan bases. So
I hope so. That's the goal.
Yeah, super exciting. So I guess let's get into some questions, maybe some more difficult questions about these lines in general. Just the first one being like, do you foresee for Allplay and for your team who already makes so many games per year, just in your core line and such, do you foresee any growing pains with these new lines, or trying to establish these new brands and kind of evolving how people perceive Allplay?
I don't. And there's a few reasons why, right? So first of all, so I am an avid Lego enthusiast. Like, I don't know, Nick, do you build Legos?
Yeah, I've got a Lord of the Rings one behind me. I still need to finish, but definitely a lot of fun.
So when you walk into a Lego store, Nick, you know what I mean? Like, do you know like what all of the like different like little brandings that they have on their like on their boxes are, because like that's one thing, like I think you would, and I do, right? So like when I walk into a Lego store, I know that I want to go look at the icons sets.
Yeah,
like right,
it's kind of the like
icon
adult
sets.
Lego, like very complex and definitely more expensive section of the Lego store, right?
And then there's another set called the creator set, right? Do you know what the creator set is? I'm not trying to like Lego quiz you. So the creator set,
that's like the flower images and stuff like that, like
so
Van Gogh painting and stuff.
Some of them are that, right? But what the creator sets specifically are the creator sets are Lego products that were created by fans, right? That basically were like submitted, and Lego decided to turn them into actual sets, right? And this happened with like the Home Alone house is in this set, right? Because somebody was like, hey, I built the Home Alone house as a Lego set. Lego took that, made the tweaks and the things that they need to do, and then turned that into an actual set, right? There's also the modular building sets, right? There's all the branded sets. There's the Avenger set, right? But then some, or like the Marvel sets. But then also sometimes those overlap. So if it's a Marvel set, and also like an 18 plus build, right? Like an advanced set, like the Avengers Tower, it's dual coded, right? It's like Marvel plus icons, right? Like, because it's in that black box, what you're getting there, right? Like they're not trying to like appeal to children, even though I'm sure there's plenty of children that could build it. But like they know that is like an enthusiast's product. Like if you're a parent and you're just going to like buy a Lego set for your kid for like a birthday set, you're going to buy like a $40, couple characters fighting each other Marvel set, right? You're not buying the Avengers Tower. You're not buying this like $450 like giant thing. And again, if your kid wants that, sure. But like if your kid just wants Marvel Legos, that's not the set that you're buying for them, right? And the same thing, right, with the Star Wars sets. There's a million Star Wars sets, but there's also the Star Wars sets that are like, okay, the Death Star and stuff. Those are coded with that like higher level integration. There's also the Creator 3-in-1 sets, right? There's Duplo, right? Duplo is like a sub brand on Lego.
Yeah.
But we know this because we're enthusiasts. We're like in the Lego know. And I even know some certain things that you didn't know, right? Like you're like, I think I've heard of that, but I don't quite get it, right? Yeah. But like but I'm sure you might have bought some of them, right? But when most people walk into a Lego store, they're just like, look at all the Legos. Like, which one do I think is for me, right?
Yeah, which one
look at this Home Alone house. That's cool. I want to buy that. Look at this big Pac-Man machine, right? The Pac-Man machine was like one that came out, right? People were like, oh, look at this Pac-Man machine. I want to build a Pac-Man machine. Like, that's how people shop. But if you're an enthusiast, you know. And so I think what most people are going to do is they're going to, walk into the Allplay store, right? Maybe at a convention, maybe online. And they're going to go, that looks like it's for me. That looks like it's for me. I like that. But then people that are in the know are going to go, oh, I'm so excited for the next Masterworks game because I know that the Masterworks games are putting things out for me, right? Oh, I'm really excited for the next Epix line because I've played the other two Epix line and those games are amazing, right? People are going to be able to self-select while also explore. And so that's why like I'm very confident that doing this from a perception standpoint is going to be just fine. Now, as far as management of it, the first thing I would say is we've been growing for a long time. We've put a lot of extra staff on. We feel very confident, and we've been working on a lot of these games for a very long time. Like these are not games that we decided to make 3 months ago, right? These are games that we've been working on, a lot of them over a year, right?
Right.
Now, and like the Masterworks game that is going to come out in 2028, it's already signed, right? We're already working on it. So, where are we at, right? Allplay is generally making about 24 games a year on average. I'd say for the last 3 years, we've averaged about 24 games a year. We are going to be reducing that. Like that's plain and simple. Like if I had to take every individual standalone product, so not expansions, but standalone product that we're making next year, that is going to launch, right? That we are launching, new product coming out. We are going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 games.
So
that's a lot less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's also because like when we do it, we can only do so many Kickstarters a year. And when we do our regular Kickstarters, we kind of put a lot of stuff together. We're like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff, right? That's cool. For these games, there's nothing going with them. These are just going to Kickstarter exactly what they are, right? There's no, also we got this other little thing for you to add on. No, we're making the games that we want to make. And that's the one thing I would say is like Allplay overall product-wise will be scaling back, but scope-wise is jumping way ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more work, right? Like we talked about, like it's way more work to do one of those big box games compared to a few tiny box even, or a few small box or whatever. Yeah, so it makes sense there's going to be less Allplay core games, but you're still supporting those lines, as you find the best for each individual line.
The biggest thing is I would say that we're going to be able to be picky, like not pickier. We've always felt like the games we put into those lines are great. The games that are going to be coming out from the Allplay core line are going to be the best games that we can find for those box sizes. Like they are going to be really, really good.
Yeah, you've taken a high bar and raised it even higher, which is great. I think you're going to be catering to a wider range of people because you're expanding into these new genres, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of those being the other game you announced that's up there between Dominant Species Definitive Edition and Have a Magical Day. No, I'm kidding. The old Dominant Species and Have a Magical Day. That being Through the Mountains. So. Through the Mountains. This is a announced sequel from Reiner Knizia to Through the Desert. So I guess my question on this, and we can just cover this briefly because it's just more Allplay at the end of the day. It's kind of what you've come to know and love from Allplay, but it's also something that's very exciting for fans of Through the Desert. So what do you think Through the Desert fans will like the most about Through the Mountains, and what do you think they will like the least about Through the Mountains compared to Through the Desert?
Wow. Okay. So I think what they're going to like the most is there are a lot of elements that have been implemented into Through the Desert, into Through the Mountains that I think take the core of Through the Desert and like up the level of like analysis on the map, right? Like the ability to do strategic planning is a lot higher, right? The ability to make moves that really have big effects, right, is much higher in Through the Mountains. The thing I think people are going to like less is there is no more enclosing areas. And I think people are going to think that that's like a core part of Through the Desert that they're losing. Yeah. And that would be, to me, what the biggest thing people are going to be like, what? You don't enclose areas? It doesn't make as much sense in Through the Mountains, right? And when you play the game, you'll understand why, but there is no more enclosing areas.
No, I think that's fair. I think if they were too similar, then it'd be like, well, I've already got Through the Desert. Why do I need Through the Mountains, right? So at some point, you need to differentiate them and provide a distinct experience that still captures the spirit of Through the Desert, but provides a really exciting and unique twist on it. And I think I've played Through the Mountains on both sides of the map, and I think it does a great job of that. I think my understanding is you went to Reiner Knizia, right? And you were like, hey, Through the Desert sold really well. We've revitalized this product in the market, and it's still going strong. It's basically an evergreen. And what can we do to provide a sequel or a spinoff version of this? And I think you pitched the yaks, right, in the mountains concept to Reiner and just let him go loose on it. Is that how it went?
I think I sent him an email that said, hey, Reiner, I have an idea. Through different line, the different line, mountains, all caps.
Let's go.
And he sent me an email back and he said, let's talk at Essen.
Easy as that. Let's go. It's a really cool. I think Yax is a fantastic, replacement for the very charming camels. And the differences are really exciting. As a Knizia fan myself, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be one of my most anticipated releases. And it's your next Kickstarter project, is that right?
It is. It's launching September, October. We haven't nailed down the exact starting Tuesday, but it's going to be late September, October sometime.
Wow. So at the time of this recording, we're really, less than 2 months out. Sounds like.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I think fans will definitely be excited about that. But out of all five, we've covered all five of these reveals, right? Well, you have four up there, and you also mentioned at the Gen Con event how Enchanted Ivy is going to have this is going to be a line or a series of games with expansions and spinoffs and things like that, because you fully believe that this can become like an evergreen solo game that people can really rally around. Do you want to cover any of that as well?
Yeah. Okay. Have you been able to play Enchanted Ivy at all since you've gotten back from?
Yeah.
It's fine. We're live. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no. I dug into it and I played the first. I think I played the first two chapters, but the second one I played twice just to complete all the objectives, right? And so you already got me with like okay, I want to run this back again and hit those objectives I wasn't able to this time. And it was cool to see. I was most curious, as a publisher working on Eureka and Rolling Deep and starting our own solo line. I was curious to see okay, how are they, giving people reasons to, keep coming back to this game and playing more. And I love what you guys did with there's this fold outs board where you can put stickers into it that represent achievements. And some of them, if you fill out a whole shelf with these, these antiques or whatever that you've collected, they're going to unlock more things for you. Right. So I thought that was really cool. And then there's the fact that there's specific goals or achievements to each scenario where it's oh, did you accomplish this? Great. Check it off and get the sticker. If you didn't, well, you got a reason to come back and play this chapter again. So, it's a game that keeps calling me. I'm like, man, I'd love to dig into this more, but also I'm in a similar situation to you where it's man, we have so much work to do now that these games are revealed and upcoming projects and stuff that I haven't had time to dig super deep, but I was very impressed. And I'm like, yeah, I could see this winning game of the year for 2026, right? I think a lot of people are going to say, this is my solo game of the year. And some people are going to be like, this is my game of the year, period. So I think it's very wise. I think you're definitely on point to be investing heavily in this line.
So just because this is a behind the scenes thing, I, as a publisher, right, there has been moments where I have made very myopic decisions for Allplay because of how strict we try to be. And one of those things was I found this game when I was at Unpub, and I was like, man, this game's good. This is such a good idea. This is so good. And I was like, but we can't make a solo game. I'm I'm not making a solo game.
And an Allplay thing.
I texted Nick and I was like, hey, Nick, I have this solo game. I think it's really, really good. Are you interested in doing a solo game through Bitewing? And Nick was like, yeah, maybe. Let me know.
Yeah.
And
this was
so
before
I gave
our Table for One thing was the thing as well.
Yeah.
Both of us were we've never done a solo game, but I'll check it out,
And Nick reached out to the creator and actually made a had them send a prototype to Nick, right? And I remember it was 5 days after that call where I was put you in touch with the designer, and I reached out and I was like, hey man, I can't get that. Or no, I was talking to you about the game. I was like, oh man, this is really cool. This and this and this. And this is what I would do with it. All these kind of ideas that you had. And you were like, are you sure that you don't want to take it? You kind of almost were you seem really excited about this game to not want it. And I was just and I think in that, it was in that call. And I was like, would you be mad if I took it back? And you were like, no, absolutely not. And I was like, yeah, because I really want it. I really want it. And again, I think it's one of those things where I think you unboxing it and seeing this vision that I had for this product, it came together so beautifully. I tell people now, it is my favorite Allplay game, not because necessarily it's the Allplay game I want to play the most, because it kind of is, but because it's more love went into this game than almost any other game I have ever published, bar none. It is, from every detail of this game, is just so thought through and done so well. And I am so happy with the product that we put out.
Yeah, you had a very clear vision of what this game could become, and how it should look, and how it should be produced, and how it should be presented, and how you hook people into this campaign structure, right? And I don't think any other publisher, including Bitewing, could have done this game as well as you have done it, right? Like me opening it, I'm like, all right, this is a banger for $20. This is absolute fire. And obviously, like, there's going to be expansions, there's going to be spin-offs. So once you hook people with that $20 game, this thing is just going to keep going for a long time, I think.
So we have released Enchanted Ivy and Enchanted Ivy: A Grand Birthday. Right? These products will be available as products for like that are available right now. Shop on allplay.com. They're great. But at the exact same time, we also have announced that is coming very soon. Like, I'm about to receive the final prototype of it and then put it into print, is called Enchanted Ivy Festival of Spirits. Right? Festival of Spirits is a standalone Enchanted Ivy box. So if you're trying to think about this in terms of other solo games, it's fully compatible in the endless mode with the other box, the same way that like Final Girl is all interchangeable, right? But it is its own story, its own campaign. In Enchanted Ivy Festival of Spirits, spoilers, this is like first time anyone's hearing about this, right? There is like a big like spirit festival, and the spirits get to come from the spirit realm and stay in the inn for a day. Well, they don't want to leave, right? So now you have spirits that you're dealing with that pop up. I think you start dealing with spirits in like chapter 3 of Festival of Spirits, right? Yeah. And in chapter 3, you start dealing with the Festival of Spirits, and you have all these spirits, and they're these small tokens that have small bonuses or small requirements, and every round you have to flip one over and then add it to the inn, and they kind of attach to a character, right? So you flip over a spirit, and they kind of attach to a character, and it's its own puzzle on top of the Enchanted Ivy puzzle that you're already doing. Right?
Nice.
It's really cool. The spirits act uniquely than guests, right? They're not guests. They're their own thing. And instead of unlocking new doors that give you special powers, what you do in Enchanted Ivy Festival of Spirits is you unlock upgrades to your inn. So you can put like a welcome mat or a flat flower pots like underneath the balconies, or you can add like windows, right? To like big windows to the inn. And when you add these to the inn, they're actually like their own mini challenge, right? They're like, oh, you've added this window here, and now if you add a window and can do this to it, now you score extra bonus points. So these upgrades give you like a new kind of special challenge to kind of boost your score up, but provide extra difficulty in the puzzle of the game. So Enchanted Ivy Festival of Spirits does like a couple of like really cool, unique things that the base game of Enchanted Ivy doesn't. And the thing is, it's kind of only the beginning. We announced a small expansion that we're going to launch with that one called Enchanted Ivy Dragon Tales, where a giant dragon comes and stays in the inn, and it has like a big giant card that has to go into your inn at the bottom, but its tail goes off the card, and you have these like cardboard pieces of the dragon's tail that can only go on the walls, and they have to go in and out of the inn to score bonus points. So you're trying to like find room for the dragon's tail as it weaves through the inn. And then the last one is, Enchanted Ivy Fantasy Draft. This will be a promo item, but will be available on allplay.com in the future. But this will be a promo item that people will have access to at the beginning of next year, and then it will be available in the future. And this one is kind of fun. Like, there's this sport in the world of Enchanted Ivy called Wind Ball, where if you have wings or you can build something that flies, you play Wind Ball, and the game is basically capture the flag or knock the other opponents out of the air. And it's called Fantasy Draft. The theming is that there's a sunny side captain and a shady side captain and a referee. This is the character group, and you draft a team of sunny side characters and draft a team of shady side characters to play out of the pieces that you already have for the game. And then you have like each of the, as you're putting the captains in, they each have these like certain like a football, like this is where my team needs to be in order to score points kind of thing.
If that one, it's are you building an inn still, or is it like a totally different?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay.
But like the way that you build your inn is like if like the one team captain is like if I get shady people in this like in these balconies, I score bonus points, and the sunny person is like if I get people in these balconies, I score bonus points. So
Very cool.
you're still just playing Enchanted Ivy, but there's like this like sports aspect to it of like
keep them together. That's cool, man. So yeah, obviously Allplay has a lot going on as usual. Plenty of new things revealed, constantly, but some really big news drops from Gen Con. A lot of stuff in the pipeline that you're about to release or you just released and has been quite popular, like Container and Enchanted Ivy and such. Out of all these new products that are newly released and upcoming, what do you expect will be the most popular? Like, what do you think is really going to break through, whatever ceiling or just go into the stars and beyond?
I think 2 games released at Gen Con are going to be massive hits. And when I say, like, here's the thing. Container's a hit. Mountain Goat's Legacy's a hit. Like, these games are great.
Yeah.
But massive hit is different, right?
Yeah.
Jibber Jabble and Enchanted Ivy are going to be massive hits. These are games that I can see us selling for the next 10 years. Easily. The game I think has the best chance at having the biggest Kickstarter is Dominant Species, right? Because and also like a game like Dominant Species just has a more niche audience, right? Like it's like we will not sell the number of Dominant Species that we sell of Jibber Jabble. That's just the way the world works, right?
Yeah.
But I think the product that's going to actually beat all of them when it finally comes out is Have a Magical Day. I think Have a Magical Day has the potential to, like Wingspan, become a force in the board game industry.
Yeah. That's super exciting, man. Well, big plans coming. Do you think, I guess one last question to kind of close things off here. Where do you see Allplay in 5 years? Now that you've kind of revealed, and I think for you and I and most publishers, like, we're thinking about our new releases. We're trying to promote those and get people excited about those. But oftentimes our brain is frequently in a project that's like 2 years away, right? And we're having to like, time travel almost mentally all the time to focus on, wherever a product is at in the pipeline, right? So like, where do you see Allplay in 5 years from now, considering, this brand expansion as well as the growth of the partnership, collaboration and everything going on?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't. We are in the process of hiring our 25th full-time employee right now, which I know for someone that just went full-time themselves for the first time probably sounds like unfathomable, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
But I also know that there's companies out there like the Op that has like 70 plus employees. Asmodee North America has about 220 employees from what I've heard, right? The thing is, we're going to grow and we want to grow. But we know that there's places to get to that are higher than where we're at. Like, I think some people might look at where we're at and go, why can't you be satisfied with that?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I think Allplay really does have the real potential to become one of the biggest board gaming companies there is. Like, I really do believe that. I believe that with all my heart. Right. But my number one goal is that I want to get there without losing what makes Allplay great, which is making good games and caring about the experience that we put on the table. Like I have avoided so much going after like cash grabs. I have like purposely, like sometimes it's like I have to like take the company scope and just like force it because it's like, oh, like look at this opportunity that could just be like easy money. And I'm like, yeah, but that's going to lead us down a path that just feels like we cannot just start making bad games. We can't just start slapping licenses on that's not what we do. That's not how we operate. Like, what we do is a lot more work. We don't license games, right? We don't license games and just slap our logo on it and let someone else make our games. We make our own games, right? Sometimes, like, we get things like High Society Through the Desert, but when we get it, it's an Allplay game. It's not another company that has an Allplay logo on it. It's our game. We make it our own thing. And for me, I think that the biggest thing that is a huge factor for me and for everybody else is the fact that we get to really focus in on like providing an amazing gaming experience. And that's what I want. I want the gaming experience to be great. And everything that we put out might not be for everybody, but everything that we put out, people to be like, this is a game. Like, this is a good game. Like, this is a game that deserves to exist. Like, one of the like high points I have is like, not every game's for everybody, but like, I don't think we've put out really many games at all that people are like, what is this garbage? Like, why would any publisher put this out, right? I think Allplay has a consistency of quality, delivery, type of game that we make, and I think that people can trust us with bigger properties, bigger licenses, and bigger things. And I'm really excited to kind of get to see Allplay take that next jump.
Yeah. I think that's a great answer, including the part where it's like, I don't know, because you look at where Allplay was 5 years ago, right? And it was still BoardGameTables.com, right? And I
there
think
were
your
four of us. There were four of us.
That's crazy. So 2021, it was BoardGameTables.com. Your biggest hits were like QE and Mountain Goats, right? And no partners, zero partners. And it's just crazy to see how things have transformed in that time. And a lot of it's, credit to you and Chad and the team at Allplay for just having the hunger to never be satisfied with the status quo, to never be satisfied with like good enough, but how can we do better, and how can we do more, and how can we do it the best way that we can possibly do it, right?
Yeah. Cool. Man, we got a lot. I'm busy, man. I'm tired this week. I'm really tired. I've got a long gap between now and Essen, which is the next convention we're going to be at, and I'm exhausted. It is time to dig in. And the other thing is, like, there are things that you know about that we haven't even announced yet, like new types of games that are coming out next year that we're like. We don't want to like announce a fourth line quite yet, but when it comes out, I think people are going to be pretty excited about it. But like, there's a whole extra layer of things that is going to be happening.
Yeah, it's wild. You guys are far too busy, but obviously having a blast doing it. Otherwise, you'd all just burn out and go find an easier job, right? No, it's I think. For myself and all the fans, like we're very appreciative of the passion and effort you guys put into making amazing games, because I've had a lot of countless experiences with Allplay titles that have made a lot of memories, helped me make friends, and those are memories I'll always cherish. So there's it's not just the money, it's not just the ability to create something that looks and cool and is fun to play, but like there's a lot of people whose lives Allplay is affecting in many, many good ways. So, thanks for all you do, Joe. I know we're at the tail end of summer convention season, and it's we're just heating up with upcoming projects as well. So it's the grind is ever onward. You mentioned you just met with Gen Con again, like the week after it ended, right? You had a meeting with them, and it's like you're already planning out next year. So it's like. Yeah,
you gotta get in there, man. You gotta make it happen. Oh boy, there was a moment at the end of Gen Con when we had the whole booth packed up and we had everyone's stuff from everyone else's booth, right? Because I know Gen Con's hard for everyone, right? But there's this aspect where like Bitewing tears down and I'm not. Again, like I'm just letting the audience know, like Bitewing tears down their booth, right? And it's been a hard week, it's been a long week, but like. Yeah. somebody with a pallet jack comes by and drops off a big blue bin right in front of Nick with a pallet on top of it, and there's a bucket with tape and markers and and knives and scissors and everything they need to pack the booth up, and they pack it all up and they send a text, and then somebody comes with a pallet jack and picks it up and takes it away for them, right? And then they're like, amazing. All right, we're gone, right?
Yeah, it was like 90 minutes later, and we're like, all right, I guess we'll go get dinner now. So
yeah,
it was amazing.
And Allplay brought 90 pallets for 14 different publishers to Gen Con. And so at the end of Gen Con, we had our whole booth packed up. We had all of the partners' product, like all in this giant area, right? And we just kind of got done packing, and it really only took us like 3 hours.
Wow.
And we just like looked at each other, and we were just like, we're really good at this. we're good at what we do. We really are. And like, I'm not trying to like break my own arm, patting myself on the back, but like there was this moment where we're like, yeah. And we're like looking around at like much smaller booths that are still tearing down and everything like that. And we've like coordinated 14 different publishers plus Allplay's 18 areas that we're in and gotten everything together, everything wrapped, everything ready to go on the truck. And we're just like, done. And the biggest thing at this point, because we like there's so much that like we don't even try to like get the trucks and load them up. We're just like, that's a Monday problem. Like we just leave it there till Monday, and then on Monday we just don't have to wait in line for anything. We can take our time. So like on Sunday we just get it all wrapped up so that on Monday it's easier. But yeah, like just the fact that we coordinated all of that, we're just like, and it went without a hitch, right? Like we got everything there. Everything was there. There was one moment where we thought we forgot an entire pallet of Galactic Cruise, and then we were like, "Oh nope, it's on the storage truck." And so we were able to like be like, "Oh good, nothing, no problems, no issues." All the partners very happy, from what I heard. But yeah, like it was great. It was amazing. We even had like a midweek refill for a lot of publishers. To get them extra stock. And one of our new partners, Crafty Games, their new game, Ostia, had not come in to the warehouse by the time we had to leave to go to Gen Con. But because we did the midweek refill, that we packed up on a Monday and then drove. It came in on a Thursday. So on Thursday, we packed that onto the refill truck that drove out there. So Saturday morning, they got stock of their game and were able to sell it at Gen Con on Saturday and Sunday. And they were really happy about that. So even the things that we couldn't control, we were able to actually make good for a lot of publishers. And I hope that experience is just continues to be good for everybody. Because I know on the Allplay side of things, our team put in a lot of work.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I hope, I assume you guys had some days off after Gen Con to kind of recover a little bit of time to collect yourselves, right? Because that was a lot of work. It's super fun, right? The events and everything were definitely a huge highlight, but so much work.
And already, like I'm working on Gamma stuff and Gen Con stuff and Essence stuff, and I'm just like, gotta go bigger, gotta do more. So it's going to be great, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited about everything in the future. It's going to be amazing.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I think this is a good spot to wrap it up then. Thank you all for tuning in to the Bits, as always, and we're excited to dig into some more topics like we mentioned at the beginning. But definitely feel free to leave any comments or questions in the description or in the comment section of this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll have more Bits on the way. We don't have another convention for a while, so I imagine relatively soon we'll be able to get one out. So.
Yeah, I think our next 2 episodes we have a good idea for, and we want to do that. And then even if we can't schedule those real quickly, I think doing some like deep dive episodes would be really cool. Like I definitely want to do like a deep dive into Container and kind of like walk through that whole process. I think there's a lot to understand about making games that can come from like talking through the entire process of like a much more complex game, right?
Yeah. So that sounds excellent. So looking forward to it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been The Bits with Joe and Nick.
Peace.